Hello, Peter Walton.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah, you look like you enjoyed that one. Look, Peter, there is a real issue here, and we can't skirt around it anymore. We can't sit here and say that VAR did OK and the referee did OK. We have to get some leadership with VAR. We have to solve the inconsistency, whether it's Spurs-Liverpool the other day, whether it's here today, two incidents that you could argue need to be looked at. One of them is, one of them isn't. How can you make a case for it?
Lead us, Pete.
Well, let me lead you. First of all, I think there's two distinguishing factors on both the penalty ones. One is we could all see a clear evidence, and therefore Stuart Atwell was advised to have another look. And the other one is a very subjective, forensically analysed decision. So if I just want to pair it away, in terms of the inconsistency, yes, there has been inconsistency with VAR at the moment. We have seen it in previous weeks, and a little bit on today's game also. But really, when you analyse those decisions, that decision there for the Manchester City penalty kick probably wouldn't have been given had Xhaka not pulled his shirt. The shirt pull is the clear evidence required from the VAR to say to Stuart Atwell, there's a foul here, Mr Referee, perhaps you want to go and have a look at it. And he does go and have a look at it. What you have to remember, of course, is it's not the VAR making the decision, it's the referee. He has a second look at it. Yes, he's under pressure, of course he is. He's only gone over there because there's a clear and obvious error in the mind of the VAR. But the decision was, I don't think VAR would have intervened had Xhaka just put his foot across Bernard Silva and Silva took the dive across it. I don't think he would have interfered. The reason he does interfere is because he can then show Stuart Atwell and look at the shirt pull, Stu. That's your clear evidence.
If Bernardo Silva doesn't dive, does it go to VAR?
No.
Just with the shirt pull?
Well, I don't think it would have been because I don't think the shirt pull alone is enough to put him down. The dive, the exaggerated dive, is showing the VAR that there's enough there to put him down.
Peter, you've just said that's the reason why he went there. So if it's not enough, but it's the reason why he's gone to VAR, how can that?
It's the reason. The reason is the totality of it. As I said, I don't think it'd have gone if it'd just been the knee on knee. But having the shirt pull there that is clear, nothing to do with football. That's not a challenge. It's a shirt pull. He's saying to Stuart, you better go and have a look at this because the totality of that challenge may well be a foul. Your decision, Mr. Referee.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Don't be
even
confused.
More so now.
Don't be confused because that's the evidence they require. If you then layer on the first one that we looked at in the first half, was it a penalty kick or not? You can argue it's a penalty kick, and I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't a penalty kick. But my argument is that you have to slow it down, forensically analyse it to come to the minute detail that Ramsdale may have got the player rather than...
Peter, the problem is the referee on the field of play didn't give either. So the only way to give the penalty to Manchester City is by slowing it down and taking a look at it. So why not just let the referee see this angle here
and make a decision
a decision on this, and then no one can complain because they say, look, he might look at that and go, well, actually, I think he just gets a bit of the ball, or he might look at it and go, clearly takes the player's foot.
Yeah, and I take your point about the inconsistency of VAR coming in, and I can't sort of go against that. What I will say is that we don't referee the game in the slow motion. The slow motion is just used to show contact, and then if you layer on what the Premier League said at the start of the season, contact alone is not enough to give a foul in the area for a penalty kick. So that may well have played a part in the VAR's perception.
Pete, we've slowed that one down there that Ederson makes a tackle. We see that there's contact with the foot of the player before the ball. So that surely means it's a penalty, no? I'm not
going to argue with that because when you slow it down and you look at it in a forensic way, there's a case there for a penalty kick. Absolutely right. But the point is, VAR has always been implemented to show everybody that it's a clear and obvious error. And really, are we having the game now played in minutiae detail that we have to go to that? Whereas if you look at the first one, you don't have to slow that down at all, and the person sitting in row Z can see the shirt pull.
You try going into the Arsenal dressing room now and explaining that to them.
Well, yeah, but they've signed up for it, Rio, because...
They didn't sign up for it, they've been told they're going to do it.
We all know what VAR was brought in for. It wasn't brought in to look at every minutiae detail. It was brought in for the hand of God. And the Xhaka one is the shirt pull. But I will admit though, at the moment VAR is a little bit inconsistent with the way they come in. Yeah. I think the best thing is to leave it alone, let the on-field referee make the decision.
Yeah, and I agree with Jake's point. I've totally in that You can't have, we'll look at one and we won't look at the other. Because in a change room, you can't. There's no way of justifying that for any player when you're in that battle out there. Oh, we'll look at that one for them, but we won't look at that one for you. You're just feeling hard done by at every single junction.
I agree with that comment, and that's why I'm not really sitting here trying to justify the decisions or what. I'm just trying to outline the subtle difference between the two today. I do think there's an inconsistent application of VAR at the moment.
Thanks, Pete.
We're not even Arsenal fans, though, and we're sitting here feeling so frustrated about it.
We're not arguing about the decisions, though. We were arguing about the procedure,
the implementation,
the process of it all. And as I said, that two fouls in the same place on the pitch, two different outcomes because the processes have been different. That's the frustration.
And it's hard for Pete. It must be hard for him as well to even sit there and explain that to us as hard as it is there. Then to implement the rules as well must be even more difficult.
And the real frustration, right, is that this works in other sports. It works in other leagues. The technology is okay. All the technologies is additional information. But it feels like what is being let down by the human element of it. So
I don't remember having these kind of frustrations in the Euros or the World Cup. It worked then. So
why? Why did it work though? Because the referee was told, go to the monitor, have a look at it, then make your decision.